folks. It is a beautiful Saturday to my 10th episode. Kind of cool, kind of exciting. Obviously, it's only 10 episodes, and you know, I have a very small following, but it's cool. You know, I'm getting somewhere, and I'm doing my work on this. So let's just jump right into it. So today's episode, we're going to talk about a scene that occurred in my democratization, globalization, and feminism class. Not this previous semester, but the semester before it. I actually had the class, the 480 class and the 481 class with the same teacher. I know, why would I take that twice in a row? It's why would I take kind of the same subject twice in a row? Excuse me. Well, because I know the teacher would let me speak, and I gained more confidence in the first class to the point where I know that I could speak up in their class, and I know that I would have a platform to speak up. And what's really important to me is not only just the classes I'm taking, what I'm learning, but is also being able to reach other students. Even if it's just that one student, that whole semester is worth it, because you never know that one student, you never know how that change in paradigm can change their life. Which I think, honestly, if we looked at that in a lot of other ways too, with a lot of other things in life, there'd probably be a better world. Anyways, to not get too off topic. So what happened was, it was after the second debate between Clinton and Trump, and I believe it was the second debate when he discussed abortions and partial birth abortions and Hillary's just evil record on it. I'm sorry, but for her to just say it's constitutionally okay without even saying her emotions towards it or her opinions towards it, sure, it might be politically smart because she knows that she doesn't care, and we know she doesn't care by her saying that anyways. So I don't really think she even got away from it in the first place. So one of the students spoke up when we were talking about the second debate, saying basically how it was disgusting and how it was vile and how they disagreed with how Trump was inaccurately describing partial birth abortions. So partial birth abortions happen, it's estimated around 1,000 a year. I believe the CDC has an estimate on that. I looked up some numbers off the CDC. Now, I don't really trust the CDC for everything. I don't agree with them on everything either. I don't agree with them when it comes to some sort of getting cancer from radio signals, so to speak, and other stuff like that. You can get cancer from it. It's kind of like a WebMD kind of thing at that point. I also don't agree with their definition on rape. I agree with the FBI's definition on rape. Steven Crowder and I believe Michael Ian Black, is that who it was? They have a good discussion on that. If you want to go check that out over, I'm not trying to give free plugs to Crowder. I don't even know the guy. But it's actually a really good discussion. They have a really good discussion between that, and really you just see more of how the left is wrong on rape culture as well. Getting back to it. So we were discussing this in class, and it got to a point where I was utterly disgusted. Now, thankfully for me, I had the insight, or even just the perhaps maybe the luck of thinking that we were going to discuss this in class. So directly before that class, I went and researched a bunch of data on abortion and procedures and numbers and stuff like that. And I got a lot of numbers off of Guttmacher Institute. The Guttmacher Institute, really, just to simplify it, is kind of another arm of Planned Parenthood. So really, if anyone's trying to hide numbers, it's going to be Planned Parenthood, and the numbers on Guttmacher Institute are pretty damning. For example, if you want to put all the numbers together of all the excuses that women would give in the latest 2004 study, there was a study in 1987, but to keep it most concurrent, if there's another one, then I haven't seen it, but at least the 2004 study shows that about 95 to 96% of women have an abortion just due to pretty much not wanting the baby. Now, you can give other reasons for not wanting the baby, but pretty much because it's infringing upon their comfortability or their lifestyle or anything like that of that nature. About 0.5% was incest, and then about 1% was rape and other things that have to do with that. So that would really leave maybe 3% for life of the mother, if you want to get down to it. And that's still really rare when it comes to that. Even 3%, even if you want to go the full 4% or 4.5%, if you want to give it all to them, you want to give it all to or even round it up to 5% of abortions being actually real legit reasons to have an abortion, does not now justify a broad range of abortion laws and of laws permitting abortion, or even the constitutionality of abortion under many circumstances, or most of the circumstances that are allowed nowadays. So, anyways, they continue arguing this in class, and like I said, I broke out and finally said, "This is." I'm not one to really get offended, but I was really angered and passionate about this because we're speaking about killing babies in the womb. I'm sorry, there's nothing else but that. And we're discussing this topic, and that's a topic that I'm really passionate about. And so I know that I probably could have been more reserved, and I've learned that now, that you reach people when you're more reserved. That's a good tip, to not let your emotions run your argument, so to speak. And so basically I said, this is crap, and I started reading off numbers from Guttemacher Institute. The teacher actually interrupted me and said, "Where is this from?" I said, "Well, this is from Guttemacher Institute, which is a left source. It is a left source." And then another student came out at some point and said, "You need to stop watching Fox News and Breitbart," which is funny because I don't follow Breitbart, especially since they've just become shills for Trump. And then with Fox News, like I said in my last episode, I'm not really the biggest fan of Fox News, in the sense I don't dislike them. If I have to go watch news, I'll watch Bret Baier. I like Tucker Carlson. I like the way he destroys liberals sometimes, but I disagree with him on things as well. Having said that, but just for him to assume, and once again just shows the indoctrination of students in the classroom even more, of how I must now be getting my sources from Breitbart.com or from Fox News, because I'm just simply disagreeing with their notion of how Trump was discussing and describing abortion. Honestly, he wasn't really discussing enough. He really didn't describe dilation and extraction that well. And here's the sick part. So the 2003, basically partial birth abortion ban, really it's vague. And what's funny is the parties that wanted partial birth abortion, or that didn't want this law to go into action, said that it was too vague in their favor. In fact, really, and the court found that it wasn't too vague at all. If anything, it's too vague, and it's too vague written by the people that wrote it, in this for support of their stance. Because really, all dilation and extraction really needs is really saying is that the baby cannot be alive while you rip it apart, basically. So now what do people do? Now people are just going to euthanize the child before they're taken out, the baby before they're taken out, or shoot them with I think a potassium shot. Don't hold me too accountable to that one. When I was reading up, I might have slipped my mind. And basically, they're just going to kill the baby when it's in the womb, so that they kind of just skirt around that little law there. And obviously not. I don't think every procedure that's ever been done in Planned Parenthood has been recorded or has been put out there for public records. If it did, then it's already disgusting, but it would be viewed as even more disgusting than it is now, and especially if you know the whole origin of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger and all that bad stuff. Anyways, so the pinnacle of this whole argument came down to when I was arguing against at least 3 or 4 people in the class. Maybe one person came to my defense. Maybe. It was a pretty left-leaning class, especially the teacher herself, as who I've spoken of before. Total feminist. Walked in the march with the pink hats and yada yada yada. Anyways, so there was a student from Sweden. So she grew up, thinking that socialism is cool and that it works, and she's totally wrong. So she was sitting in front of me, and it basically ended up with, or it reached its height, when she turned to me and said, "So you're telling me that abortion is murder?" And then I looked at her straight in the eyes and said, "Yes, I'm telling you that partial birth abortion is murder." Upon saying that, she got pretty flustered. She grabbed her bag and went to her safe space. Not even joking. She grabbed her bag, went to her safe space, and walked out of the class. And as she was walking out, maybe I shouldn't have said this, but in the heat of the moment I said it anyways. I said, as she was walking out, "Come back if you want to hear more facts." Because that really was the case. I was spitting facts and they didn't like it, and so she left. And then 2 other students had to go and comfort her because of the facts that I spat out towards her. Now, if she had spat out facts towards me that I could not fight, I would say, "You know what? You're right, I'm wrong," which I've done on several occasions in class. Not necessarily because my point was wrong, but because I realized that I don't have enough information on this topic or topic X in order to really win this debate. In order to say, "You know what, right, I don't," or simply, "I don't know enough on this topic to debate." That's totally fine to say that, because at least it's so you're confident enough to know your limits. Which means that now you can better yourself outside of class so that you're more prepared when a topic like that or other topics come up. which is why it's always important to read, and that's a good debate topic or debate point as well. So, anyways, the reason why I kind of wanted to bring this up was because of a story that's running on Daily Wire right now. It might be running elsewhere as well, about basically the European Court on Human Rights sided with the hospital to determine to kill a baby that has some sort of mitochondrial issues. And so basically these parents are gonna have to let their baby die. There's nothing else they can do because the court won't allow them to come to America for whatever stupid reason, because of the socialized medicine over there. They won't allow the parents to come to America to try some sort of even experimental help with this disease. And if you were here in America, you'd be doing that straight up. You'd be doing that right there, because you have choices, because you have that freedom, which obviously the Democrats and Obamacare and even Trump care are going to really hurt and hinder, which is really unfortunate, as the white Republicans are being such pansies about this whole healthcare thing, just for their own political merit. Anyways, so really the court side, as it states right here in this article, the court states, and this is by Amanda Prestigia-Cuomo, she has some pretty good material, by the way, states basically that Charlie has to die with dignity. Has to die with dignity is kind of the premise of the court's ruling. This is crap. And the reason why I kind of linked this with what happened in my classroom, what happened with, everything that was said there, and just trying to show the indoctrination of what was happening in the classrooms day by day, and even the indoctrination of that kid, maybe in his own household and whatever else, with leftist values thinking and leftist ideologies thinking that it works, which it never does, is the reason why I wanted to put it all together was because of this story and showing, and really how all these things, this story and everything else that happened, showing how the sanctity of human life has really gone down. I mean, I could say that, you can say, well, obviously. But no, obviously. The value of human life has really gone down. When you have people saying that they'd rather save their drowning dog than a random person in a river, when more people would rather do that, look, I love my dog, but my dog's not a person. I'm sorry. I don't think chickens should necessarily be treated like crap. But if chickens are going to have a little less better conditions of life so that people can't starve to death, then I'm going to want to have that. Because that's moral. Now, do my religion, does that help me understand that more? Yes, of course it does. But I'll never shove that down your throat, nor will I ever come at you from an authoritative standpoint from my religion, which is what liberals like to do all the time when they say, well, I've done a lot of user study on this, meaning you don't know what you're talking about and I do, which is crap, because it's always about the points that are brought up, not about I've done more than you have, or I am being paid for teaching you this, therefore I must know more than you do. That's absolute crap, and never buy into an authoritative argument. Never buy into it. Anyways, folks, I just think this is important. Just think about it. Think of how easy it is for some people to have abortions. Think about how easy it is for 13,000 people, as the Hill comments, and saying, according to the CDC, which once again I said I'm skeptical of many things on the CDC and government numbers in general, but according to the CDC, almost 13,000 late-term abortions happen in the U.S. annually, which really, late-term abortions, like I said, is just another way to have a partial birth abortion, except the baby's dead. So yeah, that's really humane. Let's just kill a baby and then we can rip it apart. But at least it's in the womb, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's really infuriating, and it's really just infuriating more of how a lot of people just don't care about the sanctity of life. How people don't look at a baby inside a womb and think that's a person, that's a being that if we kill, it's dead. It's dead forever. It's never going to be. That's a person that will never walk this earth that could have done some greatness. It could have done evil too, but isn't that the gamble with every single life? Isn't that the point of morality and love? Anyways, folks, I just thought this was all really interesting, and especially in my classroom, the first time making someone walk out, it's kind of a badge of honor, honestly, because they just don't know what to say when you throw facts in their face. When you say, hey, yeah, it's murder. When you stand by your beliefs of something being so evil, like abortion, like partial birth abortion, and you stand there and you defend that, it's hard. It's hard when you defend your moral argument, because the left always tries to go after the moral argument. And when you take that away from them, then you can go all day with facts. And obviously, some of them don't like it. And they'll go to their safe space. So folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you come back soon for my 11th episode. I think I'm going to start up a Facebook page soon. Follow me on Twitter on capital TCC1776. And just thank you so much for your support. Spread this around, share, like, comment, whatever it is, criticism, hate allowed. Thank you, and I'll see y'all soon. My name is Wyatt, and I'm the College Conservative.